We began our 2018 annual conference with the words to the song, "Holy Spirit, you are welcome here." And certainly the Holy Spirit has been present throughout our time together of holy conferencing and worship for work. One of the outstanding highlights of this year's annual conference was our generosity of the people in Kentucky to our campus ministries. We are aware that it is in our campus ministries that we do a good work of developing, discovering, and sending passionate leaders. We are grateful for the people called Methodists in the Kentucky Annual Conference for the way in which we shared in holy conferencing. Certainly the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit gave witness to the encouragement and the empowerment and the equipping of God's people called Methodists in the Kentucky Annual Conference. If you weren't able to join us for our annual conference, we hope that these short clips would give you an idea of how powerful the Holy Spirit did show up and was present among us. And so again, thank you to the people called United Methodists in Kentucky for your generous spirits and for allowing the Holy Spirit to be present. God bless you, and know that my prayers are always with you.
We returned to Covington for this year's annual conference. On Sunday, staff and volunteers arrived and prepared for events and registration to begin. The Run for Children 5K was held at Lunkin Playfield in Cincinnati. And yes, the rain held off. About 75 to 100 people participated this year. While some people were racing, others were gathering together for a meal and fellowship. On Monday, in a passionate, emotional message delivered to the annual conference participants, Bishop Leonard Fairley called for God's unfailing leadership during challenging times for the United Methodist Church.
And so, Kentucky, let's plug into the power source. Let us say, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here.
The bishop's message and the worshipful tone set during the service had a noticeable effect on the audience and carried over into the 3-hour afternoon plenary session, when various reports were presented. The Council of Bishops has recommended the One Church plan be adopted by the General Conference, but all 3 plans will be submitted. Legislation will be ready by early July after it's translated into multiple languages. After Reverend Love concluded her report, Bishop Fairley reminded people that nothing in the Book of Discipline has changed, and that only the delegates at General Conference can change it. In one piece of formal business, delegates voted to approve a motion that would require the Board of Pensions to refund a portion of deductibles paid by members on the KAC's insurance plan. Camp and Retreat Ministries proclaimed Christmas in June as advertisement for the ministry's Christmas catalog and urged people to contribute when it's available. The presentation ended with a t-shirt launch by the youth and young adult delegates and were assisted by Bishop Fairley. During the evening ordination service, 7 people were ordained as elders and 6 were commissioned on the elder track, and $3,490 was collected for the Isaiah Project. Bishop Kenneth H. Carter of Florida gave the message, "A Future with Hope." He believes that in order to fulfill its mission, the church must be willing to adapt. On Tuesday, we started the day with the Bible study led by Lisa Yabua. During the retirement ceremony held that morning, 19 clergy members were honored for their years of service in ordained ministry, a total of 588 years. More than 700 people took part in several projects and 3 workshops during Church Beyond and afternoon service and learning. In just one afternoon, 15,120 meals were created, 1,910 health kits were assembled, more than 700 volunteers were prayed for as they worked and learned, and 4 area neighborhoods were prayed over during walks. The day ended with a largely unscripted but moving service of worship and prayer. The mission offering taken up for the campus ministries was $102,597, and donations are still coming in. On our last day of conference in the morning plenary session, the conference voted on a correction to a constitutional amendment that was previously voted on in 2017. The amendment concerns discrimination against women and girls. Reverend Jim Fant of Northern Kentucky District preached a sermon titled "Remember, Recall, Recommit" for the memorial service this year. The theme of this year's annual conference was Leading with the Holy Spirit, and a number of people who attended the 3-day conference at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center said it achieved its goal.